Order. We have much to talk about, but it's not too complicated, so let's just go. You've got the roll call down. I have just reviewed the minutes of February 7th and March 6th, and they look okay to me. Is there anyone else who would like to make a comment about the previous 2 months' minutes? You are all well informed. Hi, Sabrina, nice to see you. Nice to see you on the front page of the paper, too. That was cool.
Thanks, Jane. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, can we let us do the February agenda, the February minutes? Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as recorded, please?
So moved.
Okay, that's Ray, second.
I'll second.
Barbara, second. Debbie can't vote yet. Has she been appointed?
Yes.
Monica? Yes, good.
Yes, I
Debbie can
have.
vote.
Yeah.
Okay. Then may we have the call to approve the March minutes, which were not official minutes, but we need to approve them anyhow. Somebody please approve those minutes, call that approval. Janine calls for approval of the March minutes. Second,
Seconded.
Debbie. Okay, minutes approved. Moving right along. Ray, what have you got to tell us about the affordable housing?
Nothing new.
Nothing new, moving right along. Okay, all of my effort has been on understanding each other, and I am happy to report that we have had incredibly good publicity this time. The superintendent of schools has sent out a notice in all the backpacks, or will shortly, so that all parents will be informed. Debbie has contacted a big network of clergy in the area. I have spoken to people, and I went to vote yesterday, and there was nobody else there, so I decided to do a PR shot with all the ladies sitting around. And I said, have you heard about the Human Rights Commission? And they hadn't, so I told them what it was. And then I told them about our event with Interfaith Dialogue. And one woman said, I've heard about that. I said, a random person has heard about that. Publicity must be working.
Yeah.
So I was very pleased. I think lots of information has gone out, and now we just keep our fingers crossed. I have talked to all the panelists as of today. Everybody's on board. My frustration, and Ray, this is for you. Have you heard back from your bishop?
Haven't got a name. He said yes, but he hasn't given me a name yet.
Okay,
So
so what
we'll
we,
leave everything as is, I think.
Pardon me?
As far as the brochure goes, why don't we leave it as is, and just, if somebody, the Catholic Church will show up. I don't want to change anything at this point.
Okay, no, I agree with you. We'll just, when we get there, we'll introduce everybody. And if there's
That's
somebody
correct.
new, I'll just say, introduce yourself and thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So we have the rabbi from Willimantic, we have the associate director of Hillel at UConn, we have a Muslim volunteer who loves to talk about interfaith stuff, who just happens to live down the road from the Quaker Meeting House and is a friend of the rabbis. And then we have Debbie to talk about Protestant Christianity, and we trust that the bishop will give us somebody to talk about Catholicism. My dearest hope is to find another Muslim person, but at this point, I'm not optimistic. So what I'm planning to do is to welcome everybody, do my little shtick, and then invite. I've told all the speakers you've got about 5 to 7 minutes to present the history of your faith tradition and what it says about living with people of other traditions. So that should take up around a half an hour or less. Then I'm going to invite the audience to ask questions, talk to each other, provide additional points of view, and just have a general dialogue. And that's my goal for the whole thing, is to have people talk to each other. So we'll see how it works. I have confidence in my ability to run conversations. So the last thing that I haven't done is to talk to the guy who's in charge of the Friends Meeting House to find out if they have rules about parking or anything. They have a couple of parking lots, but if we're lucky, we're going to fill them up. So we'll have to have somebody directing traffic.
Jane, can I ask a question? Can you
sure.
make that flyer into a PDF so that it's easily shared via email?
I thought it was a PDF.
It came to me in the body of an email. It wasn't a
Yeah,
separate
I
thing.
think, I think Barbara, I agree with you. But one of the most recent emails from Jane did have the PDF.
Oh,
But
okay.
maybe you can share that again so that we can all share it, among our neighbors and friends and work associates in the next week or so.
I'd like to put it on the Mansfield, Connecticut Connections Facebook
Yeah,
page
that
too.
would be awesome, Barbara. Yeah.
I think
But
I've done that, but you do it too. It's on the front page of the town newsletter. And then it's got a link and to the whole press release. And then Margaret has sent a press release to the Willimantic Chronicle. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a little PR there too. I'm very pleased. I think I can see a tremendous improvement in my awareness of how you do these things since the last time we tried it. So very happy that this is going on. And now we just keep our fingers crossed, round up all your friends. And if you know any Muslim people, please bring them, because that's what I'm worried about. I want this conversation to be a three-way conversation, and I'm not getting a lot of reaction from people, but we'll see what happens. Sienna, I'm very happy to greet you and welcome you. This is our newest potential person and applicant.
Oh, great. Hi,
Hi,
Sian.
everyone.
Very nice to have you.
Hello,
Why don't you
hello,
tell
hello.
everybody a
Hello
little
to
bit
some
about who
old
you are?
friends and new ones.
Welcome.
Yes, hi, it's me. Oh my, good to see everyone. Happy to be here.
Can you just give us a little bit about your background so we know who you are?
Sure, yes. So I am a parent. I have one child in the 4th grade at MES and a 7th grader at MMS. And I am the teacher and teacher educator, focusing on literature, philosophy with young people, and yeah, those are the 2 things I focus on.
Great.
And anybody who can teach philosophy to 4th graders has my full support. I'm continuing to be impressed by that.
Good stuff.
Welcome. Have you gone through the application process?
No, I have not. This is my very first, yeah, this is my very first entry into.
Okay, well, at the end of this meeting, if you would like to join, please connect with Monica. And she'll tell you how to do it, and then you have to be interviewed by the Committee on Committees, and then they will bless you, and then you will get appointed if you want to be appointed.
All right.
Okay,
I'll email you before I leave tonight, how to apply and give you that link.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
thank you. Okay, so anyway, I've got my fingers crossed that this event is going to be good. I know it's going to be good. I want it to be attended. Debbie, what would you like to say?
Just 2 quick things. I think I might have mentioned this to you early on, Jane, but I'm not sure. Do you know John Armstrong at
Yes, I do. Yes.
UConn? And when I was at Stewart's Congregational, we used to have clergy meetings, and he said, feel free to it has to go through him, but then he'll put it on that website. So that might be something.
In the Dean of Students office, or he was off-campus housing, I
Yeah.
forget.
Right. Yeah. Off campus. Right. John Armstrong. And then I have an opening prayer meditation. It's a Jewish Christian Muslim prayer for peace. And would you feel comfortable after you're welcome and whatever you want to say, Jane, that I opened with that, or should I just use it as part of my time?
As long as you are inclusive, it's fine. I was planning to do something like that myself, but I was going to make it up. So I will still do that, but by all means, please.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lovely prayer. I think I got it at seminary and I've used it several times for interreligious dialogue.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Where was I? Oh, so that's our one event of the week of April 15th. Then we have a second event. Janine, you want to tell everybody about that? You
Yeah,
sent me a clarifying memo, but just give us a summary.
I think that's under new business, isn't it, Jane?
Yes, it is, and I'm just jumping all around. Okay, all right, Janine, you can't talk yet.
Okay.
Until we get to that. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, our happy to say hello stuff. I'm happy to report. I really have started getting around and putting all my little stickers and all my little flyers in Banks, and I went to the Yukon Union office, UCP, met the person who was their manager, left some stuff there and talked to her, and I've just been doing it. Got stuff in Dog Lane Cafe, and I've asked Monica to have somebody order us a few Lucite brochure holders so that we can put permanent little displays of our brochure around, and people can just grab them, and then I will go around and replace them periodically unless anybody else wants to jump in and do that too. I think I really feel like we're on a roll to let people know we're here, and then they say, what are human rights? And then you have a good conversation. So I'm pleased that we are moving forward in public awareness, and I hope the Chronicle gets something in the press, but Margaret's done a really good job with the town PR stuff. And let me circle back a minute. Do I need to find the flyer as a PDF, or is it already available, Debbie?
What
What-
flyer? One second,
I did see it as a PDF, but I know Barbara was asking about it.
Okay, Katie,
I-
what
I
did
can't
Debbie do?
find it. I went through my emails. I can't find it.
Okay.
So
Right.
I just resent the interfaith dialogue one, if that's the one that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So that did just go out like maybe 2 minutes ago.
Oh,
Okay.
I see.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Katie, were you trying to communicate, or was that just a general affirmation of the value of life?
I was just gonna say that Monica just sent the email out, so it should be top of everyone's box because I
Great.
have my email on my second screen and saw it come through.
It's still in the
We can
body of the
affirm
email.
life anyway. Let's be more life affirming where we can.
Okay, Barbara, the way you get it out of the email and as a PDF is you just slide it over onto your desktop and it will come out as a PDF.
Okay, I mean,
one-page
so far
document.
it's
The
just in the
one-page
body of the email here.
But a one-page document includes that in the body of the email, but you can slide it over and it'll turn into a PDF.
All right, I'll have to do it on the desktop, I guess.
Yeah, it's easier that way, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So that's what I'm doing with Happy to Say Hello. And every time when Margaret sends out flyers, everybody puts them in prominent places. When I distribute flyers, people stick them in the corner. So I'm thinking that I might ask Margaret to do a little bit more of that, but I think we're making progress in public awareness anyhow. And both the elementary school and middle school principals have been very receptive, took the brochures, took the flyers, took everything and said they were going to distribute it. So I feel like we've got a pretty good support system, and Peter Dart is definitely with us on this. So I think we're making good progress in the community. Okay, so that's what's going on with the Happy to Say Hello thing. Katie, you're up. Pride Month event and proclamation.
Yep. So I think we had disseminated the proclamation a few meetings ago, so we just need to officially vote that that's the proclamation we want to put forth to town council for the LGBTQIA2S plus recognition of the month of June in town. And then for other stuff for Celebrate Pride, the event itself, making the determination with this work group if you guys would like to have a table. I have been able to check in with the registrar of voters and get some instruction on how to do voter registration at the event, and I would love for that to be something that this group could facilitate at that event, because every Pride this year should have a voter registration table at it, period.
Great.
Okay, so you're saying June 7th?
Yes, so it's a Friday evening.
And it's a Friday evening.
So for the tabling portion of the event itself starts at 7, and then we're anticipating the movie screening to start around 8:30. And so that 7 to 8:30 time is where we're really asking the local supports to be available for people to come up and get information. And we'll start doing table setup for 6 o'clock. I still have to work out some of the details with facilities and Department of Public Works about making sure I can do the table provision again, so groups don't have to worry about bringing their tables. But that's my next hurdle. That's
Great.
a week or two away before that one's happening.
Good, good. And I'm willing to help out with that. I think I had said that before, so please let me know what I can do.
And will you please note that in the minutes that Debbie said she would be willing to. Is there anybody else? I am going to go on a 2-week cruise between now and then. I have no idea what I'll be doing on June 7th. I'll try to be there.
I'll do it. I did it last year. It's fine.
I'll be
Okay.
there also. I'll be
Janine
there
and Debbie
also.
will do it, and Ray will do it. This is wonderful. Thank you. Who is going to be in charge of getting our banner? Somebody has to get our banner from Margaret. Monica will. Okay, are you going to come to this event, Monica? Yeah, and
Probably, yeah, I do a lot, like our office also helps with voter registration, so I think that if we're doing that, it makes a lot of sense to have someone who can actually say that we did see the ID there, so. I'm
okay,
happy with
good.
that.
And good, okay. So we have 3 people who are willing and able to be there. Somebody has to pick up the banner from Margaret. I don't think you need to do all the decoration like we do in the September event. Just make sure everybody knows who we are. And I've asked Margaret to make us 100 more brochures, and I think that may be a low estimate because now that we've got it, I think we really need to pass it out in a lot of different places and talk to people about what it means. But we have time. I just asked her to make 100 more, and then we'll probably need more after that. And they're not expensive, so we'll have those. Okay,
So then I'll mark HRC as a yes with voter registration as the activities. And then I think we just have to vote on the proclamation itself.
Mhm.
now, has everybody had a chance to read the proclamation?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we call for a vote or, okay, let's have a motion to adopt the proclamation and then we'll have discussion if we're going to have it. Will somebody please move to accept the proclamation? Barbara,
I'll move.
second.
Second.
Sabrina, okay. Conversation about the proclamation. Anybody have anything they want to say?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
excellent.
all in favor of forwarding this to the town council, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Forward that proclamation to the town council. Thank you. Now, Juneteenth proclamation, I just looked it up and it has not changed. And I didn't see any big need to change it. But I was expecting Micah to get me some information about what UCPI is doing, and I haven't heard from him and he's not here right now, so I don't know what to say about that. I think what we should just do is move the adoption of the Juneteenth proclamation, and we have time to think about the event at the next meeting, so why don't we do that? Again, have you had a chance, or do you remember what's in the Juneteenth proclamation? If you don't, trust me, they've been doing it for years. It's fine the way it is. I move that we forward the Juneteenth proclamation to the town council. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, forward to the town council. Thank you very much. Now, the equity statement, the devil of my existence. There was just an article in the paper that said all 169 towns in Connecticut have been certified as gold. What do you call it? Not conservation, but you know what I mean.
Gold status with.
Gold status with
CNCP?
regard to zero impact on the planet. So do we need to, if everybody's been certified, that would include us. Do we need to do anything else?
I don't know that that's true. In
No, I don't
fact,
think it is at all.
not with Sustainable CT at least. Maybe it's a different organization or a different quality. I don't know, but we did not achieve gold status last year or the last time, and I think 2025 is the next time that we get to like get reevaluated.
Okay. Would somebody give me some advice here? I really don't want to do this. I need somebody else to do it. Look at the equity statement, talk to Sustainable CT and find out what we need to do, and then we'll do it next month. Do we have any volunteers who are so enthusiastic about this that they are willing to do that?
Jane, I'm not familiar with it, I don't think, but if you have any information, I can share it maybe with Joshua's Trust, since I'll be appointed to that board in May.
Monica, what?
I don't know if Joshua's Trust can do it. I think it has to be something that the town does.
The town does, okay.
So, I mean, if you want
Have
to
to
do it,
review the
if,
statement and make sure that that the sustainability work includes acknowledgement of equity issues.
so what we can do is I mean, we can connect. If you'd like to take it over, Debbie, we can talk about it. I can show you what's already sent. There's an equity coach that we can talk to. It shouldn't, I don't think it should take very long.
Not a
Uh,
big- And I'm just not making any progress.
You talk to them? I'm
No.
sorry,
I know
okay, I
last-
couldn't hear you. Yeah,
Last month
so
we had some edits that we wanted to add to it that I think I had sent to you guys.
we did.
Mm.
Yes,
all
that policy and
It's all
enforcement.
set.
Okay, thank you.
So, what I can do is I can get you in touch with that person and we can do a Zoom or something and see if we met Sustainable CT's equity statement guidelines.
Mhm,
And if we have, then we bring it to the town manager. He would
mhm.
then approve it or approve it for council, I think, and council
Okay.
has to adopt it.
Right.
So
Okay.
there's still a few more steps, but I think the heavy lifting of like the writing of it and the all the, things that we have to do, I think are probably done.
Oh, good, great, okay.
Yeah, and
Mark,
what
I
you
can-
did last
I-
night, the last time was very good, and I do remember that.
Can you put me in that working group, Monica, too?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't mind, Debbie, do you?
Debbie, you have a collaborator.
Yes, that's great, thank you, Ray.
Okay, good.
I'm on the sustainable website for Connecticut. There's only one gold certified town in the state of Connecticut.
Well, I don't know why they said that in the paper, but I saw it the other day.
Must be something else.
Yep. Okay, moving right along. Now Janine, tell everybody what you're doing about the library.
Okay, with the library, I sat and spoke with them and they said that that the spring break would be a good time to do that. So I picked one of their dates and it was Thursday, April 18th, I believe, and they are doing a wonder and they'll have STEM activities and volunteers from UConn and whatever. And that got me thinking, I wonder what it's like to, have peace and harmony. And that's why I looked at all different activities. She said most of the time there are younger ones that go to these types of activities, not so much the older ones. So I was thinking about the peace and harmony quilt. It's a paper quilt.
Mm-hmm.
I think I sent everyone what it kind of looks like. There was a link that I had sent to you, a website link, and just kind of going over it with them. What does peace look like to you in your community, in the world? What does harmony look like to you? Explaining what harmony, it's a balance or whatever. And they can come up with their own ideas, but I will print out it's on cardstock, other ideas of what peace and harmony could mean. And I have everything from a kid in a wheelchair, cartoon type of character in a wheelchair, to the pride flag, to recycle. So anything could mean peace, the kids. So I'm trying to really gear it towards, I wonder what it's like to,
Yeah.
so that type of thing. And then my goal is to possibly have it an open thing. So anytime we have an event, if someone wants to add on to that flag, I want to, hit the kids, but have it onto the flag. And you attach it with, I would love to, I don't have a sewing machine. Sewing it would be great, but you attach it with pipe cleaners so you can then hang it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can keep adding more and more and more onto it. And I thought maybe the library said that they would be happy to display that quilt. I thought if we have any of our events, we can display it. If one of the schools would like to display it, that type of thing. I'm also thinking about, it's also for the adults, but I've been looking up this other thing and wanted to ask you, all of you, while I have you at the meeting tonight. It was, one of the things was started by Yoko Ono, and it was the wishing tree. And
Mhm.
they have this big, like, even like a beam of light in Iceland, but not that, but it's a wishing tree. What do you wish for? Not, I wish for a new pair of roller skates, or I wish for pizza, for the rest of my life and never get fat. Not going to happen. But what do you wish for? And you write it on a little card, and then you tie it onto a tree. And I've seen other communities do that. So I was thinking, the adults may, not that the kids can't do it, but something that the adults, something that's meaningful. I could start those cards, along with the Peace and Harmony quilt. And then find a place where we can have, even if it's an artificial tree for the time being. But that's what I will be doing for Thursday. And hours are from 2 to 6. It's open, because there'll be random tables. They can go to, wherever.
Right.
And I think they said when they send out their stuff, they were going to include on theirs that the HRC will have an activity.
Good.
So
That's awesome.
that's what I've
Janine.
been doing and what I will be doing.
Yeah, that is really, really awesome. And I love your idea, Janine, about the traveling quilt. And maybe you could even have, or we could have a sign up so that faith communities, schools, community organizations could say, well, we'll have it at our place for a week to display.
That's my goal, is to,
Yeah, that's
I want the kids to know that they are part of the community.
Yeah.
And what's important to the kids. Not that adults aren't important, but we need to kind of like
Yeah, I love
get what's
it.
important to them.
Yeah, that is very, very great. I love that.
So Janine, this event on the April 18th is from 2 to 6 at the library.
Yes.
And I imagine you need help.
If you want to come, I am not really anticipating a big type of thing, but she said it's more younger. There will be volunteers, but if anyone wants to come at any time, please. And it's going to be very easy. I have things that will be printed out that they can color. They can come up with their own design, and I'll be monitoring, no blood, no guts, no gore. If someone says, I wish for no guns, that's fine. They can use the words, but I really don't want it to be too graphic in nature. I've seen things in school sometimes, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do. But yeah, if anyone would like to come, I will be able to use my laptop. I checked with Emily Webson. So if any parent wanted to look at that little slideshow that I did, they can take a look at that. They will have a table for me, so that's fine. And I just have to bring my supplies, and I have, most of the supplies.
You need help setting up?
If you want, I don't think I'm just going to have things like in tubs.
Okay, I have to play Harry Potter that night, but I could come from 2 to 3.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
The one thing and Monica, I see the one thing I want you to be sure to do is to have those little stickers and have those brochures.
Yes, I'll work out when to come pick it up, or that's fine.
Good. Monica, what do you want to say?
So I had two things. One is we just got in all the brochure stands. So
Okay.
anytime you want to come pick them up, they're here, they're ready to go. The other thing I wanted to make sure is that we got approval from the town manager to have this be a Human Rights Commission sponsored event versus it being you as a part of the Human Rights Commission hosting an event. So if it has not gone through the town manager, make sure that you double check with him that it's okay for it to be an event sponsored by the HRC.
Janine, give me about 2 sentences of what you're doing. I will send it to Ryan and ask for his permission.
I did that little thing. I sent it in the email to you, like a little
Got it.
whatever, because it's
I'm
the
sure-
library and they are saying that we can be there.
Right, that's great. That it's just
Yeah, no, I
managers
get
to
it.
sign off on anything that is sponsored by us. It needs a
Right.
town manager approval. The fact that, Devin's great with it being there, that helps, So,
Yeah. And they
um,
said that they're open to having the HRC there at other things. And I was even We're already talking about their summer readings,
Oh,
doing
cool.
something during the summer.
Wonderful.
That'll be
Yeah, no,
awesome.
she was
And I
great when I
think-
met with her.
I think also like the more that we collaborate with Devin, the more that like it'll be more of a I mean, it's a formality, you know? So
Mhm.
I think it'll be really good the more that we get into the library too.
Yeah, they get a tremendous amount of traffic, so it's a really good place. And parents bring their kids and many good things happen, so.
Mhm.
Okay, I will write a note tomorrow with your text asking for permission, and he will write back and say yes.
And I just had a thought, Janine, for
Yeah.
your kind of adult version of a tree. I know like a real tree outside putting things on is going to get the thumbs down from the sustainability people. But one of the
Right.
really cool things that like you could do, you could build word clouds. There's lots of like different automated online things where you could have adults kind of put in what they wish for or what they think peace would look like, and they'll automatically generate word clouds. I think there are some, and I don't remember them off the top of my head, that you can preview to make sure that they're all appropriate so
Right.
that nobody puts in anything.
That was my other thing. The cards need to be like there with any HRC member, because you don't want, inappropriate stuff. And I agree, because I'm like, you can't just stick it on a tree. How am I going to work this? I still want the cards. I'm thinking, even if it's an artificial tree or some type of a mobile or something that you can hang or something like that. But that was a thought, just, it
I think
does do well
mobile-
in other places, but I just, my brain goes off in different tangents.
I think the mobile idea is a really good idea. Because you can hang it inside, you don't have to worry about it. You can take it down and keep it. You don't have to, mess up the environment or anything.
Right.
So think about that. But I also like the word cloud idea. It'd be wonderful if we had an interactive spot on our page in the town newsletter where people could just do that.
Mm.
So take a look at the town newsletter and see if anything suggests itself to you. Yeah, I like that. That idea of getting word clouds out where people can contribute and somebody will have to monitor it, but then we put them up every so often. Because we could start talking about what does human rights mean to you? Give us one word. And when we had a bunch of words, we could post that as our monthly column. And I don't know how to do word clouds, but I know that they're automated, so I'm not too worried about that.
Someone teaches me, I'll do it.
Who said that?
Of course, me, Jane, come on.
Okay. Oh, good. Let somebody learn. Katie knows how to do it.
Those slides, I had to learn everything because I don't remember any of that stuff. And I was like, and doing the animation, everything, that drove me nuts, but I did it.
Excuse me. Once you learn it, you can do it more.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Sian, do you want to respond to any of this?
Yeah, I wanted to say, Janine, I can show you how to do the word cloud on Mentimeter. I've done it on there and I know how to do that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, we can it generates a link, or we can make a QR so people could scan, and then it takes them to our dedicated page and they can submit their response there. And we can have a setting so that we have to approve before it's added to the word.
Okay.
As you're patient with me.
I promise.
When you teach elementary school kids, you know how to be patient. So I'm not worried about that part.
That's
Okay.
you, Janine.
Okay, thank you, Janine, for coming up with all of this stuff. Member reports. What has everybody been doing besides what we've been talking about? Ray, go ahead.
PFLAG, a couple things. PFLAG is we have a chapter in Holland and Mansfield. They're moving to consolidate with Hartford. I don't know what exactly that's going to entail, but whether they're going to continue their operations here or not, but I'm going to continue to follow up on that. I also want to mention that there was a tremendous amount of pushback on the Transgender Day of Visibility being on Easter Sunday. So they're gonna be dealing with some of that. They put out a new movie, 2024. It's a short film, 26 minutes, called Pieces of Me. And it's about it was a short that was put out for the Transgender Day of Visibility. I think it's worth watching if you're involved in those kind of issues.
Could you repeat the name, please?
It's Pieces of Me.
This is of me. Where is it available?
It's on YouTube, but you probably can find it through, if you go to the Tolland Mansfield PFLAG chapter, it's right there, the link.
Right.
So just to follow up on the consolidation, I know I had spoken with Lisa Day Lewis, and I think they are planning to continue to
Good.
hold meetings in the local area. It is just going to now be considered most likely a satellite of the Hartford chapter rather than an independent chapter.
Good.
So I think they are still planning on being here in the Tolland and Mansfield area. And like those groups of people aren't going to be going away. It's just going
No.
to be consolidated under a different like 5013C.
Yeah, I couldn't say that without knowing officially. That's why I suspected that would be the case. The other thing was I mentioned an initiative that I was going to start in really back in November that we needed to, that I felt, or we kind of discussed this in general, that in the town's policies and procedures manual, that we needed a more comprehensive document that talks about how to handle discrimination. I had started working with Allison Maynard. She's not with us anymore, so I'm gonna have to kind of regroup with that again. So I haven't forgotten about it. I'm still anxiously waiting to do that. And I'll just keep plugging along.
Ray, I am very glad that you're doing that, and I anticipate we're going to get a lot of blowback from that one. Because my strategy recently has been to be nice and keep people engaged in conversation, but don't aggravate anybody, because as soon as we start aggravating anybody, we're going to start having resistance. So I think it's very important that we do what you're doing, because you never know when somebody might make a complaint, but I think that's going to be the place where we say, yeah, we're not just here for fun and games.
That's right. I agree.
People need to know we're here, because there are people who have things to complain about who aren't doing anything about it right now. So thank you for doing that.
And my goal was to consolidate all the discrimination stuff, the different various, government agencies and state agencies and whatnot. Also the hate crimes, I want to fold that in there too somehow. That hate crimes is a little different because that's but I want to make it a comprehensive document, policy, how people can go, contact, phone numbers, all that kind of stuff.
Wonderful. Can you share drafts?
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, when you're there.
I will definitely.
I think this is very important, and like I said, people are not going to be happy when you start talking about this, but I think it needs to be done. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Who else? What's everybody else been doing? Sabrina.
I'm excited about disseminating information at the various volunteer opportunities I'm doing this month. I'm going to be at a UConn alum panel on Saturday, talking to prospective students who will be incoming this fall. I'm volunteering at Repair Cafe in Willimantic, where we upcycle people's products. When they're broken, we can fix them. And one of the fixers says in 7 out of 10 opportunities, we basically get it done. So, so that's a lot of fun. And then just I'm looking forward to continuing to talk in Coventry. I have the opportunity to work with this sort of a housing development where we're working on having neurodivergent and neurotypical individuals living together, and we're hoping to break ground later this year.
Wow.
That's great, Sabrina. Good for you.
Thank you. Looking forward to talking more about the HRC to other people who can get involved. So I just wanted to share with them after
That's
this.
wonderful. Make sure you get those brochures. You can get them from Margaret, you can get them from me. Just give me a call and we'll meet someplace and I'll give you some. Because I can make them at home. I can't. We have to get Margaret to make them because they're two-sided documents, but make sure whenever anybody goes anyplace to talk about anything, make sure you have those things with you because they're really good document just to give to people. Thank you. Anybody else doing anything?
Next week, I'm gonna be doing the first, there's 3 sessions for the Sustainability Connecticut Equity, whatever. So I'm doing that again. And I think the first session is next week.
Okay,
2
what are
hours.
you going- how are you going to take that and bring it back to us? Or what are you going to do with what you learn?
Just like I did last time, the next meeting that we have, I'll just go ahead and tell you what we discussed, or like they talked about including, last time I was talking about including the stakeholders of the community, businesses and things like that, accountability. So I'm going to see what they're going to be doing this time. And I think what they're wanting to do, it's kind of like we are already doing it. That was kind of like what I was getting from it. But it kind of made me think a little bit more, again, all what we're doing, how can we push it a little bit more? But I think that stakeholder, going out into the community with businesses and things like that, making them aware of equity and everything. And again, I look out in the town and I see a lot of businesses that are owned white. How are you going to have more people in? I know that may not be a human rights commission agenda, but it's still, I look at people who are working in the stores in downtown. And I even asked Ravine, I said, why is this one store? And it's just an observation. Why is this one store? I saw a lot of people who are of color working in that store. I said, I know they don't live in Mansfield because there's not that many. And it's having people who are from other towns coming in to work because there's a job opening, but they can't live in Mansfield because it's that whole thing. So with the Sustainability Connecticut, that's kind of like what they talking about how can you reach out into the community, talking to the stakeholders in there. So, which is kind of like what we're doing even with the interfaith. That's a stepping stone.
Right. And it's the old James Baldwin quote, you can't solve any problem without talking about it. That's not the whole quote, but that's the idea. And I think that even you're only talking to white people and raising questions, you're raising questions.
Oh, yeah.
And it's getting people to start to think, and it's a slow process. So by all means, that's great to do. And good.
I'm
Thank
taking the training also, so I'll be able to help brainstorm.
Good. Wonderful.
Katie?
So since our last meeting, I was able to go to the Connecticut Pride Summit, which was later in the month of March. I attended virtually because it was down in Waterbury and on a Saturday, and
A horrible drive. Absolutely.
I couldn't do it. I'm doing self-care where I can. But it was really well attended. There last year in Connecticut were 40 different Pride celebrations, which is really exciting to hear that is turning into very much a Connecticut like homegrown little town to town thing, as well as Middletown Pride is the big Connecticut event of the other events. So that was a really cool experience to get to go and connect with other Pride organizers, as well as encouraging them, if they haven't already connected with human rights commissions in their towns, to see if they have them, to get help where there's resistance on things like getting official proclamations or flag raisings or funding or permission to host events, and also ways to connect with the Youth Service Bureau. So I'm hoping that linkage can keep happening with the local grassroots groups that are doing the work, to connect to agencies of governance that can help push the envelope a little bit further. So that's an exciting thing that I was able to do since then. And then coming up later next week, Amy Nocton of our work group had reached out about coming for the E.O. Smith Teach-In Week. So myself and a few other folks are going to be joining the GSA on Thursday for one of the teach-in sessions to talk about LGBTQIA2S+ identity, because the identity is the theme overall for the Teach-In Week. So we'll get to have some time with the EO kids next Thursday to kind of talk about that. And then my Pride group in Mansfield Middle School wanted to participate in the GLSEN Day of No Silence. So that is coming up on Friday, April 12th. So we have them work on their silent elevator speeches on the quick sell on why are you not talking today? Why is it important? And what do you want your world to be different? So we have GLSEN Day of No Silence stickers that they'll be able to wear that day, as well as printouts that they'll be able to fill in their elevator speeches for and hand to anybody who's asking them about their sticker or why they're not talking for the day. And I'm going to see if it'll be okay to bring that over to the EO teach-in day because it's the day prior. So I'm
Mhm.
hoping to be able to help support those initiatives in the Mansfield schools.
Wow, that is so awesome, Katie. Good for
When
you.
when is this Identity Week going to happen?
The teach-in week is next week at EO Smith.
Because I've spoken to the head of the social studies department at EO Smith, and she said she wanted to invite me, and then I haven't heard back from her lately, so I assume I fell through the cracks. So we'll just have to see how that goes. I've made a couple of really good connections at Smith, but they're obviously very busy, so we'll just see what happens. I
You
have
could reach out to anyone in the front office, their admin team, whether it's Principal DeLoretto or Vice Principal Perello or Tanner. They would be able to hopefully connect you to folks who are doing that organization.
I'm not sure I can do anything else next week, so
That's also a thing.
timing may not work. I just went to a 4-day retreat on self-care. It's not working, but I am trying.
Mhm.
All I do is take naps and hurt. I'm sure
That
it
sounds
won't go away
awesome,
soon.
Katie. That
I
sounds
just want to
awesome.
share this. My wonderful
thanks,
work team
yeah.
got me this book. It's called Feral Self-Care.
For
It's
wandering
100
cats
ways
and
to
other
liberate
people.
and celebrate your messy, wild, and untamed self. So this is what
Yeah.
is calling to
sounds
me
like
right now
you.
during these here very stressy times.
Mhm.
Sounds like it. Yeah, I went to a Buddhist retreat, and this is not human rights, but it was about self-care and childhood trauma. And had 2 neuropsychiatrists since Sharon Salzberg, who was a meditation teacher. And I haven't learned so much in such a short period of time in my entire life. And now I am kind of going back through my entire life, figuring out how many traumas I've had and what I can do to fix it. So if anybody is interested, on a side note, I'll be more than happy to share all that. It was just wonderful. Wonderful. Anyway, the one other thing, I've been invited to speak on a panel at UConn on the intersection of identity and career development. And I'm not exactly sure what they want because I missed the first phone call, but I'm going to talk to the student who invited me again this Friday. And the topic is negotiating faith in the workplace. So I'm beginning to sense a development of a specialty in my little area. And we'll just see how that goes, because I know the one thing I know about for sure, well, I know a couple of things. One is about Jewish students in food, and that also would be Muslim students. And the other thing is about Muslim students in prayer. And how do you negotiate that gracefully? And what do you do if people don't respect your right to have your religion? So I'm going to do that. And I, again, will be pushing the Human Rights Commission and letting people know, because I'd like to make some more connections into UConn. And there are a lot of people who are very happy to talk to us. And I just found out one of my former students is now the director of the African American Cultural Center. I am so excited about that. I am so
Awesome.
thrilled, because that's an incredibly important job, and she's a wonderful person, and she's finally old enough to be able to do a job like that, because I met her when she was a kid. So anyway, there's a lot of good people who are former students of mine at UConn, and most of them are Black, and they can do a lot of things to help us kind of work together, and I really want to do that. So I'll be working on that as soon as I get to see Alicia. Debbie.
Yeah, so just a couple of quick things. Sabrina, I'd like to learn more about what you're, thinking about with housing initiatives in Coventry, and that's where my church is. So I'd love to invite you to come and speak to people. I'll put my email in the chat just in case you don't have it, and maybe we can do that moving forward. And I'm a member of the Wyndham branch of the NAACP, and we're hosting a concert on Saturday, May 4th at 1:30 p.m. at the Willimantic Congregational Church at the corner of Valley and Walnut Street. And it's the Get Out and Vote concert. And we have lots of different choral groups from the community, as well as different soloists and choirs from lots of different, well, I should say, of vast, diverse faith communities will be participating. And then we're having a reception afterwards. So if you're interested in going to that concert or spreading that news, that's May 4th at 1:30. And I'll put my email in the chat now if you would like the actual little flyer for that as well.
That sounds like an absolutely wonderful project. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else doing anything else interesting?
I got one more thing.
Okay,
I'm meeting with the principal from E.L. Smith.
yeah,
If you remember last month, you showed us that equity statement. I had a little brief discussion with him but I want to kind of pick his brain as to how they came up with that, all the details and how it worked. He said he wanted to talk to me, so I said, great, let's do that.
please do that. I have been very unsuccessful in getting him to talk to me, and I'm sure my approach isn't very effective.
He's very busy.
Yeah, it's difficult to even speak with him because the last meeting that I went to for the Parents for Racial Justice, he and the superintendent usually just kind of like sit off towards the back, and then the group just kind of goes ahead and talk. I wasn't able to get to the last meeting. I was out of town, but they have the CAB program, the Cultural Awareness Brigade, and that's for the students. And then they have the PRG, and that's Parents for Racial Justice. And that's where they were talking about equity and what they're going to do and that sort of thing. So, oh man, Terrence Abney he's the person who
Right.
kind of like heads that group. Not that he's the only person, but I can always give you his email, like if you wanted to get information.
I know this phenomenon that's going on at Smith, and I know why they have a parents group. And it's because the principal has been so non-responsive. They have excellent statements and not excellent action.
Right. So that
Right.
company came in and they made their recommendations.
Right, and those recommendations, if you haven't seen the flyer, I have it and I can send it around. There's a lot of trouble at Smith when it comes to being fair to people.
Yep.
And there's been a lot of talk, but there hasn't been a lot of improvement, and this is old stuff. So
Good to know.
anytime, pardon me?
Good to know. When I
I
meet
mean, this has been going on forever.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why, I mean, this isn't HRC stuff, but that's one of the reasons why we pulled this.
It's
It was
terrible.
what he was observing.
It's between students in terms of harassment and various kinds of problems around basically racial issues. And then the unawareness or the lack of skill among teachers in how to intervene.
Yep.
And Amy Nongton has done more than anybody else to try to improve the situation, but Amy has her own horrendous struggles going on right now, and she's kind of taking care. She's a total self-care at this point.
Yeah.
Ray, anything, play dumb and ask questions. That's all I can say. Because that's been an issue that I've been aware of for, I don't know, 50 years maybe. And nobody's ever been able to do anything about it. So please find out what you can. Okay. Opportunity for public comment. Nobody from the public is here except Sian. And would you like to comment? Or have you already commented enough?
I do not have any additional comments today.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other comments for the good of the order from anybody? Very good. Please stop by the library if you can, come to the Interfaith Dialogue if you can, and I will see you all next month. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Great
Bye.
work, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
What a great job. This is fantastic. We're really
Monica?
making progress.
Okay.
Can
I'd
we have
say
a motion to
Got
adjourn?
some big hump that I couldn't quite figure out how to get over, and we seem to be getting over it. So it's wonderful. Thank you.
Monica wants to say something.
We
Yeah, Monica.
need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, yes, we need a motion to adjourn. It's a move to adjourn. Second,
Second,
who was that?
right.
Okay.
Perfect,
Um,
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
everybody.
everyone. Good night.
Bye.